How y'all doing, brothers and sisters? I'm not talking about this mode. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, but we gonna continue. Okay, so tonight we back to do part 2 of the gaslighting series that we started on. Okay, and gaslighting slash you're not crazy. Okay, because that's what this particular tactic is. Is a tactic applied by the spirit to try to make you feel like you losing your mind. Okay, so we're gonna start with an example. Okay, an example of how these demons start to chip away with your confidence and your ability to make sound and rational decisions. Okay. So an example of how these demons would play with your mind would be like, okay, let's say you're talking to your mate, talking to your significant other, your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever it is, okay, and out of nowhere, they come out the blue like, you just called me another girl name, or you just called me another dude name, okay? Nah, you know that you ain't called them nobody else's name, okay? You know this, okay? Now, if you don't look them straight in the eyes, like you don't look them dead in the face and tell them you off, like I'm trying to be nice, okay? But if you don't look at them and just and tell them like, okay, you got issues or you crazy. If you don't tell them that, then they perceive an opening. Okay, so now they feel like, okay, all right, you know what? It's room in his brain. It's room in her mind for me to manipulate. Okay. Now all of the arguments and all of the conversations that you're gonna have, all of the arguments and the up and down and the back and forth that you go through with them, it's all done on purpose. Okay, it's actually a tactic. They do it on purpose. They create the arguments. They create the solutions. They are looking constantly to create something out of nothing. So you leaving a sock on the floor in the bedroom could turn into a 2-3 hour conversation about how you don't love them, and I'm talking about off a sock. Not even a long one. I'm talking about like a footy, like. Okay, but this is what they do. Okay, and like I said, now as we went over last time, gaslighting is persistent manipulation. So it's going to be constantly. That's how you get somebody to the point where you want them at. It's got to be a constant thing. Okay, so with them constantly playing on your emotions, your emotional state, you learn not to say certain stuff. This is called training. You learn not to say certain stuff because you don't want to deal with the consequences. And most of the time, the consequences or the thing that you are not supposed to do is question them. You're not supposed to ask them what they was doing. You ain't supposed to ask them, why they ain't get home to this point in time and all of this, because you are now you been trained to react and think a certain way just based on their reaction and the things, how they feel and what they are going to do. So to keep the peace, because like I said, this is consistent. So to keep the peace in the house, you rather just let it go. So let's say like in the beginning of the relationship, if you're in a relationship with somebody and they come in to the crib and it's 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Oh, we about to go at it. Like, where you been? Oh, so you couldn't call? Oh, you ain't answer the phone? This is going to be a conversation. But after a year or two of going through the same thing and dealing with this same reaction and knowing what's going to come because of this, you don't even say nothing no more. You just let them come on in and lay right next to you. Okay? Because now you at a point where you just want some peace. Okay, because it's always a problem. Okay, So every time the spirit say jump, if you don't say how high, they go into a fake rage. Okay, when I say a fake rage, I mean they pretend that they angry, like they pretend to be upset. Really, it's not even that deep. Okay, or they do something like that. They start giving you the silent treatment, and you go say sorry. Okay, and most of the time you don't even know what's wrong with them. You ever been around your mate and they just come in just messed up, like out of nowhere? They don't want to talk to you, don't touch me, all this crazy stuff. Okay, now you being a person that you just want some peace. Okay, because y'all in the same house together, you would go and you would just randomly apologize. You would say, okay, babe, whatever I did, I'm sorry. For what? You ain't even did nothing. You know what I'm saying? But this right here is called control. This is how they train you, okay? Now, only certain people is allowed to see the torment, because they have to remain blameless to the outside world. Be the sweet, honest, loving person. You will see the effects of this. You're gonna see the effects of this by how the demons use suggestion with the victims, by never even asking you to do something. Okay, your reaction is trained, and I'm about to give you a perfect example. This is a form of control. Okay, so let's say the demon wants you to take the trash out. Okay, what they will do, because this is training, listen to me. So what they would do, instead of actually telling you like, babe, can you take out the trash? You know, the trash kind of full. You know, like an adult would do, because they not adults, they children. So instead of saying, you know, babe, could you take out the trash? They will come in the kitchen while you in the kitchen or something like that. And they'll walk past and they'll just look at the trash and shake their head like, that, you know, that trash sure is getting heavy. It's, you know, now, technically, they never told you to do it. They never said take the trash out. But they implied, they made the suggestion. Okay, now, if you a good dog already, then you going to catch the hint. Now, they don't even have to say nothing. They can go to the other room. You going to get up. You going to start putting on your shoes. You going to start putting on your jacket, so you can get the trash out, okay? This is suggestion. But you notice, this person never had to ask you or say specifically what they wanted. Okay, because once again, this keeps them out of the blue. When you bring this type of stuff up to them, okay? So like I said, so they are very cerebral, and they target your mind. So if they don't want you to go out with your girls, or let's say he don't want you to go out with your girls, she don't want you to go out with your boys, okay? They are not going to tell you that. They ain't just gonna come out the blue like, babe, I don't want you to go out. I don't want you to go out and hang out tonight. They're not gonna say that. Okay, what they're gonna do is they are going to implement a certain action every time you do this, so that they can train you to not do it. Okay, so for instance, you go out with your boys or you go out with your girls. Now you come back in the house, you thinking everything good. They heated. You can't touch them for 2-3 days. They don't want to talk to you. They acting funny. They got an attitude. All of this stuff, okay? Now, in your head, you have not did anything to these people. So, this reaction or this action that they did is going to tie directly into the next time that you want to do this specific thing. It happened with me. Okay, so like I never been the type to really hang out or be in a club or nothing. Like, it never was my thing. I was kind of in-house anyway. It's just my comfort zone. And so when I would go out or something like that, she would never actually say like, I don't want you to go out. But when I came back, the house would be upside down for 2-3 days because I did go out. So the next time that I'm asked to go out, I'm gonna think about that. Like, you know what? It ain't even worth it. Cause when I get back home, I ain't gonna have no peace. I'm not gonna have no we ain't gonna be able to lay up together. She gonna be cold towards me and all types of stuff I have to deal with. Okay, so the most important thing is the house, and you want peace in the house. So this is the form of control, because they never say it. So you might even let's say you guys get into an argument, and I'm telling you this is planned out and it's cerebral. The way that they thinking ahead of you. Okay, so y'all get into an argument, and you might say something like, I don't never go out the house anyway. I don't never do nothing. You know what they gonna say? They gonna say, oh, I ain't never tell you can't go out the house. I ain't never say you couldn't go hang with your boys, or you couldn't chill with your girls or whatever. Now, technically, it's true, because they never have actually opened their mouth to communicate that to you, but they actions trained you to do that. They actions trained you to stay in the house. They actions trained you on what not to say, what not to question them about. Okay, so it is manipulation. Okay, gaslighting is what it is. Okay, and like I said, because you want peace, you cannot be the same person that you was, because these spirits that the spirits that you with, they desire a slave who they can control mentally, physically, and emotionally. You used to go out. Now you in the house all the time. I'm telling you, and some of y'all, a great indicator is the people it's always gonna be the people on the outside looking in, because we can never see this, because we blinded because of the spell that we under. So we never see this, but other people that knew you before you began to get into these relationships with these people, they are going to notice this, and they going to try to talk to you about it, and the first thing you going to say is they hating on you. They don't want you to be happy. You ain't happy now. You ain't happy. You done had like 7 black eyes this just in the last 6 months, and you talking about you happy. Cause you feel like you doing something because you got somebody. No matter how these people treat you, or how you feel being in a relationship. And like I said, and I ain't even trying to be funny. Some of us just, come on, man. Some of these dudes, they ain't brushing their teeth, they ain't washing their butt. Some of these women, they don't know how to wash they clothes. They don't know how to keep their hair. Just, what is you so in love with? Like these, like you looking at these people like they Beyonce's or something like that. Some of us got straight cartoon character looking Daffy Duck. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, if you ain't had such a good heart, I don't even know, you probably wouldn't even have been with them. Okay, so like I said, everything has to change when you with them. And people gonna say that, girl, you don't never hang out no more. Bro, we don't never see you no more. What's going on? And I'm just chilling, No, you a slave. You a slave, nah. And the thing that the spirits love to do is isolate anyway. So they really want to keep you away from anybody that got enough common sense now. Anybody that you can talk to that be like, sis, that don't make no sense. He said what? And he ain't come back to win? No, sis, I'm telling you, he playing you. Or, no, she lying to you, bro. So the spirit has to begin to isolate you from them people that you used to be around. This is why you spend so much time in the house. That's why y'all always together all the time. And they really try to cut off all communication. Some of them will go as far as moving. They will change locations. They will want to move to California, and you from Detroit. Because California will isolate you from all of the influences set in your life around you that can see what they doing to you. It's very strategic how they play, how they work. Okay, so when accepts you to take care of it. Like I said, another thing about these spirits is they act like kids. Okay, they want to control, and all the time, and they want you to work, because the spirit expects you to take care of it. I'm gonna just tell you what it is. They want you to take care of them. They don't feel like they should have to lift the muscle. They don't feel like they should have to put in no effort to keep you, but they feel like you should bend over backwards to do these things to continue to be with them. Okay, so it's okay. So when God is with you, your spirit will tell you when something isn't right. Okay, or that doesn't make sense. Like, listen to yourself, because you've been allowed to have as much happiness and peace that this spirit allows. They like I said in the beginning, I think it was mirroring. They study you. The spirits, they actually study your movements. They know what to do to make you angry. They know how to keep things calm. And they control your happiness, because depending on how they treating you is going to control your whole mood. I see a lot of people on Facebook all the time. One day they happy, the next day they going through it, and that's all they can talk about. Like, just beat down and sad, because they can't get no consistency out of these spirits they with. It's always torture. I say 90% torture, 10% fake, what you would want to call happiness. That's what I would call it. Okay, but you only gonna be as happy as these spirits allow you to be, because anytime they get ready to, they can play with your emotions. They're gonna pull you this way. They're gonna pull you that way. They're gonna make you happy. They can make you sad. They can make you and it's all really based on their behavior. So you have to adopt your behavior to satisfy them, so they can behave. Listen to what I'm saying. Your behavior is going to determine how they act. If you be a good dog, if you jump when they say jump all week, if you call them every 10 minutes when you at work, if you do everything that they expect for you to do, you might have a good week. But I'm telling you, soon as you ask a question, it's going to be hell. And you know what? You're going to let it go. That's why we never get to the bottom when we in this crazy making process, because we like I said, we want peace. So you know it don't make sense. Your spirit has been telling you something ain't right. Like this, no, like I don't believe that. But you still there. You still sitting there. You still back and forth, like what to believe. What believe you? Believe what you feel. Believe what your spirit is telling you, and it's gonna keep you. It's going to keep you from a lot of heartache. Okay? Because the Lord, he'll tell us, and I can testify to this. Early in my relationship, I prayed and I asked the Lord about the relationship, and the Lord told me so clear, she ain't the one. Keep it going. I didn't listen. I got many samples. I got many examples. I got many things that happened during the course where I should have been able to be smart enough to realize the signs and what my spirit was telling me, but I didn't listen. So talk to the Most High God. Tell him to expose your enemies and protect your mind from this witchcraft, because it's witchcraft. It's manipulation. It's emotional witchcraft that you're going through right now. Okay, emotional witchcraft is when somebody controls your emotions, and you don't know that they are controlling your emotions. Okay, but it's still a form of control. Okay, so the spirit uses words like paranoid. Oh, you just paranoid, or crazy, or you just ain't used to no real man or real woman. Then they switch the topic to get your mind off of the previous thoughts. Okay, because the demon settles some disputes by making promises. Listen to me. So if they really see that you fed up and you at a point where you getting ready to leave, they make you a quick little promise. It's all a lie though, just like the whole relationship. So they'll say something like, I promise I won't do that again, or I won't say that again. Okay, this is something they do, and then they like to downplay all of their actions, so that your emotions are questioned. They make you feel bad about how you feel. They make you feel like how you feel about it is wrong. Like you can't feel hurt because they cheated on you. You can't feel upset because they promised to do something and they didn't do it. They are even gonna control. This is what I mean by controlling your emotions. Can't nobody tell me I don't have the right to feel like you did me wrong. I don't have the right to feel like you lying. I don't have the right to feel like you not caring about how I feel. But they take this away through this constant manipulation and gaslighting. So even if they burn down the house, I'm talking about the whole house, all the way upstairs where the kids' room at. I'm talking about all of the Dora the Explorer covers just burnt to a crisp. Even if they burn the whole house down, they will try to convince you that it's not a big deal, that you overreacting. You know what I'm saying? They act like all they did was light a match. Now, they don't really burn the whole house down, but this is how they try to tame your emotions and what you feel. And then as a alternative, you got to walk around with all of this stuff on the inside now. All these things that you really want to say, all these things you really want to feel, you have learned to shut off yourself completely to stay in a relationship with this person. If you not there no more, then you clearly being controlled. Because you ain't even there no more. You can't even say really what you think, how you feel, your opinion, because you don't have one no more. That's a part of slavery, which you are in with these demons that you claim you love. Okay, now this thing that they do by convincing you that nothing they do is bad as we think it is. This too affects your mental, because you then begin to question every emotion or thought you have. Like, maybe I was tripping. All he did was burn down the house. It ain't like he kicked my grandma down all 16 stairs. She only hit 5 of them. If she would have just, gave him the sweet potato pie, it's her fault. I'm telling you, listen to yourself, because you will come up with every excuse you can to justify your own torture, to justify your own self not being happy. You begin to create these you make them the victim. You even they even put it, because like I said,